There are many movies based on this particular word. Inception, Paprika, Vanilla Sky, Walking Life, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Okay, maybe the last one isn't. If you haven't seen these, do watch them. All of these films are unique in their own way. But Inception? It stands out from all of these films. The moment you search Inception, thousands of explanation videos are thrown at your face. This is not an explanation video, this is our perspective, our interpretation. Art has no particular explanation. You can only interpret art. Sometimes it takes too much overthinking in analyzing scenes only to realize that the director never intended to do so. We hope that this is not one such interpretation.
Paradox.
Don't try to understand it. Feel it.
In trying to write a team-based creative process, I wrote the one I know. After reading this sentence from an interview with Nolan by Entertainment's Weekly, I thought that I missed some details and rewatched the film. Have a look at this particular scene.
Now in a dream, our mind continuously does this. We create and perceive our world simultaneously, and our mind does this so well that we don't even know what's happening.
How?
If we observe this scene carefully, there are 2 points to need our attention. Creating and perceiving a dream world. Subject and its realization.
We're dreaming?
These two pieces are common for both dream and cinematic world. The phrase, creating a dream world or cinematic world comes to play when the direction team is recreating the imagination of a writer into a reality that others can bond with. The true art of cinema is making the audience believe that what they are watching is not just a movie, but is, in fact, reality. When people are watching a film, they are bonding with the characters. They are not just seeing the film, they are experiencing the created reality, which is in a way similar to dreaming, and we strongly believe that Nolan is actually trying to explain this in Inception as an undercurrent layer. In a single statement, Inception is not just a film about dreams, it is Nolan's view about the filmmaking. Just look at the characters in Inception. Cobb has a definite goal in mind and directs everyone in that way, like a director.
Find a way to translate this into an emotional concept.
Arthur sets up everything required from making a film, like an assistant director or production manager. Ariadne, the architect of the dream, is someone like screenwriter or creator of the world.
Subconscious that we are trying to access. So, making the bottom level a hospital, so Fisher will bring his father.
Ames, as you can evidently guess from the film, is an actor. Yusuf represents the technical department, as he sets up the whole equipment for the dream.
No, I rarely go into the field, Mr. Cobb.
How many team members?
5.
6.
Saito represents the financier or producer.
But you'd have to buy out the entire cabin and the first class flight attendant.
I bought the airline. It seemed neater.
Finally, Fisher is us, the audience. Try to rewatch the film with this in your mind. When we did, we found something.
3, 2, 1, action!
There's a chase scene in Mombasa when Cobb went to meet Ames. The thugs from Cobalt Engineering are after him because his previous project, which was to find the secrets of Saito's company, was not fruitful. When you compare this with filmmaking, his previous failures are stopping him from doing his next films. In urge of running away from them, he finds himself in a way of converging walls. In that particular shot, the converging walls are the metaphor of his failed projects preventing him from doing his next.
Are you alright, Mr. Cobb?
Yeah.
Once he comes out of this zone, forcing himself out of these converging walls, the financier of his next project, Mr. Saito, comes for his rescue.
What are you doing in Mombasa? I need to protect my investments.
Maybe Nolan has no such intentions while he was conceiving this scene, but this is art. You can interpret it in any way.
Something, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Another one. Cobb meets Miles in Paris and says that he wants to offer one of the best students of Miles with a job. When Miles says, design them yourself, Cobb replies,
Mal won't let me.
Mal is dead. We can only see her in Cobb's dreams, so she's just a projection. So the entire version of Mal can be considered as an ideology that the director used in his previous film, which is not received well. But the influence of this ideology over Cobb and his projects is evident, and he is unable to come out of its influence.
You said we'd grow old together!
Come back.
Hence, in order to prevent Mal's influence over his next project, he went to Miles asking for an architect, which in a way represents a director going to a screenwriter for a movie when he can't write on his own.
Mr. Cobb has a job offer he'd like to discuss with you.
Work placement?
Not exactly.
Cobb's deep guilt over her death, despite his best efforts to suppress the projection of Mal, she appears at inopportune times and frequently interrupts Cobb's plan.
Please.
And all he could do is stop planning or writing.
I have a question about this layout.
No, don't show me specifics. Only the dreamer should know the layout.
You know how to find me.
In an interview with Wired, Nolan says, for everything that Mal says to Cobb, effectively he's talking to himself. Obviously, to resonate.
Grow old together.
And we can.
It's very important that the dream worlds reflect the same rules as what's presented as reality.
My question is, what happens when you start messing with the physics of it all?
It's also very important that the rules of dream have analogies to what's presented as reality.
Great, but I'm telling you, if you keep changing things like this...
Hey, look at me. You're okay. You're okay. So, a totem. You need a small object, potentially heavy, something you can have on you all the time that no one else knows.
Like a coin?
No, it needs to be more unique. That way, when you look at your totem, you know beyond a doubt that you're not in someone else's dream.
So certain of your world.
In the climax, when Mal holds Fisher as hostage and Cobbs needs to choose between Mal and Fisher,
So choose. Choose to be here. Choose me.
he chooses Fisher. That's us, the audience.
If I stay here, will you let him go?
What are you talking about? Fisher's on the porch.
If we see this through the lens of filmmaking metaphor we mentioned before, this is a much bigger decision. To choose between audience and ideology. Mal, that is his ideology, is restraining him from being better filmmaker. He realizes this and chooses Fisher, that is his audience.
Question is, why'd you let us in at all?
As audience, we have seen enough films, TV series, web series, read enough books, heard enough stories to guess a movie story.
But your deception was obvious.
You're gonna have to do better than that.
Nolan says the only way to do something original is to do something drastic. And he did it with Inception, a movie that we are unable to guess.
That's more like it.
A movie beyond our regular boundaries. A movie which will stay with us till the end of days.